and have picked their strategies, as we're going to have the 5 red lights on now. And they're out here in Kota for 28 laps around the Texan circuit. As we go into turn 1, Womax gets a brilliant start, leading everyone into turn 1. Brilliant start. There's a 3 wide behind with Christian involved. Cars off in the background. There's 2 Haas's spun off in the back. And Ty's involved. Dobo's out. There's a safety car on lap 1. And Dobo out at turn 1. And I am blaming Rio for the whole thing. Because he says, imagine Ty immediately spins. And Ty is immediately involved in a carnage. And he has planted the throttle out of the final corner now with Kevin leading in behind, as there's been a couple of swap positions in the back and maybe a couple illegal overtakes. It seemed like they were overtaking before the line potentially. Meanwhile, there's damage for the Mercedes. What happened there? F1 Lime and Sci-Fi contact with the Mercedes. What was that?
Keep taking care of them.
And Christian has got a little battery compared to the Lanky one, so this should be a slam dunk pass for the Kicksauer. Down the long back straight, you can see that light flashing. So this could invite addiction, maybe using some more batteries to maybe make a lunge down the inside towards the next turn on the inside. The Alpine.
Oh, contact between the Alpine and Ferrari. And that's allowed Cthulhu through as well. Seems to be very low on battery as it stands. Oh, and Cthulhu's round! Cthulhu in the wall! I think Cthulhu got rear-ended there by addiction. And the whole right side of that front wing has sheared off. And Cthulhu now down to P8 and will have to pit most likely. Meanwhile, Womax and Kevin in the lead of the race. Swap positions yet again. As the lanky one going to swap with Michael Louis. Oh, and Pneumatic also breaks his front wing on the rear Cthulhu. Dubsy now on the rear of Pneumatic. But Ty Clear also involved in this battle. And I don't know if the McLaren and the Ferrari know that both drivers ahead have damage. Ty Clear now round the outside. Good move there. Pneumatic dives it through. And into the pit lane will come Pneumatic. Dubsy now getting off those soft tyres. If Dub now goes hards to the end, it could still end up being a good strategy. Meanwhile, Christian dives it on the inside. Contact with Addiction. As Forward Journey now round the outside of Addiction. So Womax is having a very strong race here, starting from pole. Can Womax finally get the win that has been eluded him? Meanwhile, it's a 3-wide battle into the hairpin. Addiction and Christian come together, exiting the hairpin, and Forward Journey now looking for a way through. As there's been an absolute scrap here over P5. And Forward Journey now loses out to Christian and Addiction. Christian now round the outside of the Alpine driver. Can Forward Journey find a way through finally as Christian trying to get that car rotated, but it seems like his mediums are overheating a little bit here. Goes for the switchback on Addiction. Contact with the Alpine. Somehow holding it together. As Forward Journey, I'm sure, is very frustrated here. Gets a time penalty. Trying to avoid the Alpine. As Pneumatic also picks up a time penalty. Contact between the Ferrari and the Alpine. They are absolute bumper cars out there. As the rear is skidding everywhere on the Alpine and the Ferrari.
This is great racing.
And 3 wide now, potentially into turn 1. Christian forced off the track. As Forward Journey gets through into turn 1, cuts the inside corner. And there's cars absolutely everywhere. Telling those hards his secrets. And Ty Clear also back up into the battle now. Christian sends it on Addiction again. Christian had picked up an additional penalty this lap. And him battling with the Alpine may lose him more time than it's gaining him, as Addiction now moves on the inside. Too much contact, and Addiction's out. Addiction in the wall. Christian's out as well. It's a safety car. That was just bound to happen. That was absolutely bound to happen. The two drivers have only themselves to blame for that safety car. This way and that, the softs are very much struggling here already here. Only in his third laps.
Sorry to interrupt. Kevin Cow is going for the lead of the race. Womamex is defending to the inside, and Womamex going to hold it on the inside line. Kevin Cow around the outside. He's coming very close. Kevin Cow's now got the inside line for the right for the first corner. Sector 3 radio switcheroo by Womamex on the exit, and towards the outside, almost contact between the two. Maybe they'll switcheroo for the second attempt by the Aston Martin, but now we stand on the power on the exit.
As Arn now on the rear of Scones, the Womamex now takes the lead of the race. Arn going to get ahead of Scones with Forward Journey coming through on Scones as well. Scones on 12 lap old hards. Oh, and Scones is around contact with Ty Clear. And Scones is around. Stephen Beecham involved as well. And multiple positions there lost as Coldzilla dives it on Cthulhu. And F1 Lime loses the rear. Trying to find a way through on Scones now.
Lost. End plate has been lost for Stephen in that collision as well.
Yeah,
as Aaron is into the pits.
What is he doing?
Oh, drive-through, remember?
Oh, the drive-through. Okay. I completely forgot about the drive-through. Womack still picks up a time penalty. That could ultimately cost them at the end of the race here. With Kevin and also the lanky one picking up a time penalty as well.
Changes lead about to happen. Down the back straight. Kevin Cow inside or outside. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go to the inside. Womamex squeeze him a bit to the inside line. Maybe a switchback from the Aston Martin on the exit now. Better traction for the Aston Martin, but trying to hang it around the outside. A little bit of contact from the rear tyres. Now on the exit towards the long left. Kevin Cow finally pulls ahead of the Aston Martin. And like I say, so Michael Louise would be wanting to gain some more points before the end of the first half of the season. It's quite a decent battle going on for P11 here between Stephen, Aaron, and Michael Scones. I hear the similar reaction as almost Fernando Alonso and Liam Lawson-esque in the sprint race and Grand Prix. These two fighting around very tightly. Womamex, look how close he is getting. A tenth and a bit as we enter turn one, as Scones and Aaron going wheel to wheel again, and Aaron has actually got ahead.
As F1 Live dives it on Arn, and Arn with a lovely switchback. You gotta realise you cannot send it on Arn in the Haas because he will switch back you out of your socks. And Arn does it again to another driver. He's gonna have to do something quickly though, Womamex, if he wants to win here. Currently it's looking like a podium may be the best he can hope for, but he's got to do something different. But he's got to try and get past Womamex or something. He's got to make sure that he's not the driver who's behind here. He's got to try something. As Womamex is defending from Michael Louis, still cannot find an opening, and that's been his whole race so far. He just has not been able to find an opening past Womamex and Kevin. Been struggling to get a good exit. He's finally got a good exit, but how good is it? He's got to give absolutely everything now to charge after the Alpine. As the Alpine goes defensive to the inside, Womamex now goes defensive to the outside. Will Michael Louis look to set it? Michael Louis now round the outside. He's going to look for the switchback. Can Michael find a way through on the Alpine? He's got to go for something if he wants to win here. Kevin defending masterfully, though Michael Louis still cannot get an opening. He's lost the rear. And potentially the win of the race if he cannot find a good exit. And I think Kevin's held on. The rear of that Williams is just too cooked. And the Alpine of Kevin Kell has raced masterfully again. And Womamex, who did start from pole, will finally get a podium in here in Tier 2. But it'll be Kevin Kell here who will win again in Kota. Kevin, the championship leader, extends his championship lead over the rest of the field yet again. Meanwhile, Coldzilla, despite his questionable strategy calls, gets up into P4. A mega job from Coldzilla as Ty Clear moves up to P6. Next across the line, it'll be Dubsy, then Cthulhu. And Cthulhu had a lot of time penalties there, so maybe Arn, despite being so far back, he may find a way into P9, and he does just that. And there you have it, Kevin wins for a 4th time this season, extending his championship lead to 29 points now over Michael Louis. Meanwhile, Womax would pick up his first podium of the season, and a notable mention from Codzilla, who had to make his way through the field multiple times and was able to finish up in P4. And let's see what that's done to the standings. Kevin does extend his championship lead. Meanwhile, Arn moves up to P3 in the standings. But can anyone stop Kevin from winning the championship here in Season 4 Tier 2? You'll have to find out next time as we come back from the mid-season break. Our Tier 2 heads to Abu Dhabi for round 7 in the calendar. But I've been WHF Arrow, thank you for watching, and goodbye.